Hey folks, welcome. Um, so today I want to talk a little bit about what I mean by unconventional. And for us to have different results, unconventional success, usually we need to have different approaches and unconventional approaches. Essentially step out of our own box. So welcome to any of you, and whenever you're watching this, whether it's live, whether it's in a replay, say hi to me, let me know where you're watching this from. I am in Boulder, Colorado, USA, and it is another gorgeous day here. Spring is fully here, there's no doubt about it, although I probably just jinxed it by saying that. Anyways, so let me introduce myself a little bit for those of you who don't know me well. My name is Ilsa, come to you there. I am longtime therapist, and now I work with entrepreneurs. My history is that I work with people, regular people, anxiety, trauma, this stuff that holds us back. Then I worked with entrepreneurs, helping them get unstuck so they could really show up and not burn out. And now I really work on what I call soulful success and helping entrepreneurs, healers, coaches, essentially change makers, find an unconventional path to success. Oftentimes, the people I work with, they either know that they're meant for more, know that they have something to share, and they know that what they've been doing isn't working or they're getting nowhere, and they want a different path. And what I bring is I bring on unconventional approaches to find that unique, aligned, sacred path to unlocking their brilliance, getting clients, making more money, and doing that with ease and doing that with enjoyment. Because in the end, that's what matters. None of us want to make more money if we hate what we do. So if that feels interesting to you, keep in mind, those of you who've seen this, you know this, but keep in mind that I offer what I call Soulful Success Breakthrough Calls. And essentially, it's a free hour with me to just figure out what is your unique sacred path towards sharing your brilliance and making money doing it and feeling great about it. And during that session, we'll look at what's holding you back, what are a few shifts you need to make, and you'll walk away with an actual blueprint and path forward. So if you want to do that, put hashtag brainstorm in the comment or send me a message directly. So let's talk a little bit about this idea of unconventional success. First of all, I'm going to say to you that success is what you make it. So for some of us, success is very much financial. We want to hit a goal. For some of us, success is truly impacting people in a powerful way and knowing that we in our lifetime here have totally shifted the consciousness of this world and have impacted lives and transformed lives. And for some of us, it's a mix of that. For some of us, like I have a client, for her, clearly, success means freedom. That includes financial freedom, but it also includes working from wherever she wants. It includes her time, having a lot of free time for herself. So you define what freedom means. And oftentimes what happens when I work with people, they've been trying to do things and they haven't gone anywhere. So for us to get unstuck, stop spinning our wheels, oftentimes we have to stop doing the same thing. You know, that definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I think a lot of us get very stuck in that. And so it literally requires a shift of our mind and a shift of what we think is possible, a shift of what we think we can and can't do, and a shift of how we're willing to show up in some ways. I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to give you something to think about at the end of my live for you to start like reaching, exploding out of your own mind and reaching into some of these unconventional approaches or pathways to your own success. So if you want different results, if you want significantly more fulfilling results, then you need to expand who you're being and how you're showing up and what you're doing and step out of your own box. And by the way, usually when I say that, people think working harder, working more, doing like, and that's actually the opposite. What I have found is that the key to finding your unconventional path to success actually is equal to simplicity. It's equal to doing something that feels really aligned with you, that feels really alive for you. And oftentimes that is, I want to say easy. It's easy in that it's simple, but oftentimes it does require courage because it's unknown. It's different. So I'm looking at my notes, making sure I don't miss anything. Keep in mind that there's a huge amount of elegance in simplicity. Most of us are following, like most of us who are entrepreneurs are following all these strategies out there to get more clients, to get our message out there, to really share what the gifts we have with the world. And we're getting lost, kind of our souls getting lost in those strategies. What we're trying to accomplish is getting lost in those strategies, and we're losing ourselves, we're losing our message, rather than actually really staying with what feels most alive, most aligned, and most authentic and simplest. I have a lot of clients. I'm going to give you one example from a client. This is a conversation I had yesterday. So I had a conversation yesterday with my client. I'm not going to name her because I didn't ask her if I could share her story. But she said to me that she wanted to raise her rates. And she's an amazing practitioner and she totally deserves to raise her rates. And so I said, okay, that's great. So how's that going to look? What are you thinking? And she started giving me this entire blow by blow of how she's going to like rebrand. She's going to redo her website. She's going to like change the colors, change the wording. She's going to hire a photographer to take brand new pictures of her and essentially do a whole rebranding. And I said to her, I'm like, hold on, I'm confused. I thought we were talking about raising your rates and you just went into this entire rebranding. What happened here? And she said to me, she's like, well, that's what I need to do to actually raise my rates. And I chuckled a little bit because I said, actually, how about you do none of this and you just raise your rates? And like her eyes got all big and she kind of froze and she's like, well, I can't do that. I'm like, why? People are not paying you for pretty pictures and a new gold color on, like in your website or a new word here and there. They're paying you for the transformation that you provide them. They're paying you because when they work with you, they're a different person on their way out than they were on the way in. They're paying you because suddenly everything has shifted in their lives. How is you redoing your website and taking new pictures going to actually add to that? And she was like, well, it doesn't. And I said, exactly. We have to think about the fact that often when we want different results, we want to raise our rates, we want more clients, we start putting all sorts of stuff in there that's actually, and we think that that's the unconventional way. Well, the way I'm going to raise my rates, the way I'm going to have more clients is by doing all these things. But actually, all of that is resistance. All of that is us being afraid to step up. All of that is us being afraid to actually clearly own what we want, state it, go for it. And in her case, at the end of our session, she made the decision that she was going to talk more about the transformation she gets for her clients and simply raise her rates. I was like, clients don't want, your people don't want new pictures of you. They want to know more about the results that your clients are getting working with you. They want to feel inspired. They want to have hope that they too can change. That's what you can do. In some ways, it's ballsier. In some ways, it's harder. It takes more courage. But it is actually what's going to allow you to raise your rates and do it with confidence. And that it is what's going to allow people to feel really great about paying you what you're asking them. Now, I'm going to give you another example. This is a completely different way of being unconventional. This was a few years ago. I was going through this I was going through this crazy phase in my life. Everything was kind of falling apart, including my health. I was having relationship issues. My business had been stagnant for forever. I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. My clients were not getting anywhere. Like, things were just so out of alignment on so many different phases in my life. And I had been doing this rat race of more and harder equals better. And it was actually making me more and more drained, more and more tired, and leading me to have less and less results. And I started doing something totally nuts, which was shamanic journey. I started doing my own shamanic journeying and going and finding my own power, going and finding this part of me, like almost like, finding pieces of my soul that had gone missing that were keeping me from showing up powerfully. I was meeting guides during these shamanic journeys that were helping me hone in on my healing arts and hone in on what I needed to do. And suddenly, I actually, rather than looking out there for solutions, going to this doctor, going to this coach, going to this thing, I started going inside and doing my journeying to figure out what I needed to shift in my life to actually start getting the results that I wanted. And very quickly, all the symptoms I had health-wise started vanishing. I got this download of this healing modality that I started doing with me and with my clients. I shifted. I got rid of a bunch of clients that were not ideal clients for me and started working with the clients that were really lighting me up. I raised my rates. And I think within a few weeks, I was making twice as much money. It might have been a couple months. In a couple months, I was making twice as much money as I had made. And that's what I mean by unconventional. If somebody had said to me, oh, Ilsa, you need to stop like looking at all these things online and going to all these business coaches and going to all these doctors, and you need to sit and you need to listen to a drum beat and you need to go and journey and find the aspects of your souls that you and the parts of your power that you've given up away along the way and heal yourself and get guidance and answers from within, I would have said to them that they were nuts. And that is absolutely what worked for me. And now I have clients, and this is part of what I teach. I have clients who write to me every day about a dream they had and the answer they were looking for their business showed up in a dream. Or I have this journaling practice that I teach people where they're connecting to their soul and their sovereign self and they're journaling, and inspiration and ideas and strategies are coming through in that way. So, when I say unconventional success comes from an unconventional approach, I'm not telling you to work harder. I'm telling you to do something outside the box. And I'm telling you actually that oftentimes that way is simple. It's simple, but it might take courage. So another thing I am doing right now, and this is what I do, this is my unconventional path to success, is I try to give myself a challenge every month, every 60 days, depending, and to stick with that challenge. So my challenge, for example, right now that I'm working on is to try to go live 2 to 3 times a week on my personal page and in my group, and to share all the tips and all the ways I know to step out of our square box and find ways to make more money, have more impact with a lot more ease and a lot more enjoyment. And to do it in a way that's not always going to feel good. I, full disclosure, do not like to talk about money. If you've seen some of my lives in the past, what I talk about is being a lighthouse, is owning your brilliance, is sharing your gifts, is how the world needs you. Like, that feels so alive and easy for me to talk about. But the truth is when I get on a call with someone during those Soulful Success breakthrough sessions, which, by the way, I'm inviting you to come and join me, and let's figure out what that unconventional way or unconventional approach might look like for you that would help you step out of your own box and create something completely different in your life and in your business. If that's something you want to do, then put hashtag brainstorm in the comments or send me a message on Messenger. But essentially, when people get on that call with me and I kind of try to figure out what it is that they want, I've never met someone who said to me, I want to impact the world in a powerful way, but I don't want to make any money doing it. Like, I think there's this thing around healers and change makers and spiritual leaders and soulful entrepreneurs where money has become a little ugly and it's not something that we're comfortable naming or talking about it. But that's part of my challenge in these next 30 to 60 days is to come on Facebook Live, which is not easy for me, and to tell the truth about what has worked for me, what is working for my clients, and to also tell the truth about the fact that all of us want to do sacred work, we want to do good work, we want to make good money doing it, and we want to have a good time. We don't want to struggle, we don't want to hustle, we don't want to be overwhelmed to get to it. We don't want to do things that are out of authenticity or integrity to do it, and I'm here to tell you, you don't need to. I'm here to tell you, you can make great money, you can have an amazing impact and transform lives, and you can do it while staying in your own soulful alignment. But the only way you're going to do that is by actually finding your own unique path and getting outside your box in terms of how you're going to share and show up. So, when I talk about unconventional approach, I'm talking about courage. I'm talking about getting out of the most commonly traveled path, getting out of what everybody else is doing and telling you to do, stepping out of that, stepping out of what you're comfortable doing and what you've been doing, and looking for something that's totally different. Something that is almost paradoxical, that might actually not make sense. Because oftentimes, that's the way we get to our answers. That's the way we get to what's going to work for us. Just like when I started doing shamanic journeying to heal myself and grow my business. That was not what the direction I was expecting to go, but that is actually what worked for me. And I'll tell you that years later, when I was back and really growing my business as it is now, and trying to follow all these coaches out there, I've invested thousands and thousands and thousands and multiple thousands of dollars and been studying business strategies for a long time. And partially I've done that so that I can teach that to my clients and help them figure out what makes sense for them. But what I discovered is that as long as I was following what I was being told to do, and I wasn't actually going in to see if it made sense for me and if it was going to work for me, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. I was doing so much, excuse my French, shit to get nowhere, feeling out of alignment, feeling out of authenticity. Essentially, my confidence was getting eroded. And it's only when I went back to shamanic journeying, when I went back to listening to my dreams, when I went back to checking in with my own intuition, that I discovered, hey, what's the path for me? Is this going to work? Is this not going to work? And started coming up with really new ways of showing up and getting out of my comfort zones. So, that's my, make it simple, make it courageous. And, this is the question I have for you. Figuring out what that looks like for you. It doesn't have to look like what it looks like for me. Maybe for you, courageous, simple action is simply connecting with your old clients and asking for a referral. Maybe for you, it's going live on your personal page for the first time and telling your family members and your friends what you're really up to and what really lights you up, and inviting them to get on a call with you or to send friends who they feel is going to be a right fit for you. Maybe your simple, courageous action is to go in other people's groups and invite people to get on a call with you for market research, just so you can figure out really your own language, your own message. Figure out what feels really aligned for you. Maybe for you, it's doing nothing for a while and actually taking a day for yourself, going for a walk. just reconnecting to what matters to you, why you started doing this in the first place, what you're really passionate and alive about. So you have to find your own unconventional way and step out of the box. So this is my question to you. This is my invitation. Look at what you've been doing that's not working. Look at what you've been doing that's not working and stop for a minute. Take a break, take a breather, check in with yourself, connect to your breath, connect to the ground underneath you, connect to the certainty that you have within you all the answers you need, and ask yourself this: if I wasn't afraid, if I was willing to completely trust in myself, in my power, and in my gifts, and in life in some ways, what is one simple action I would take today that would be completely different? That would be a totally different approach, and that would totally push me out of my own box that I've created, and that I feel would lead to a shift internally and a shift in terms of the results you would get. So let me ask you, let me repeat it. Look at what you're doing that's not working and stop. Check in with yourself. Really connect to your heart, connect to your breath, connect to your belly, connect to the ground underneath you. Just get anchored in your own power and ask yourself, what could I do? What could I shift? If I wasn't afraid, if I was willing to completely trust in myself, trust in my power, trust in my gift, trust in life, trust that this is destined, trust that the answers are within me, if I could totally trust and be in my power, and I wasn't afraid, what could I do? What is one simple thing that I could do today, now, to shift things and to get a different result? And see what comes up. Start writing random ideas, even things that feel like totally out of left field. Oftentimes, the things that's going to lead us to success is the things we least expect, is the thing that makes no sense, that is paradoxical. You would be surprised how many times I've done my journaling where I'm connecting with my sovereign self, and I've tried to figure out what I need to do, and the only answer I could get was go for a walk or take a hot bath. And I'd be like, great, that's not at all the answer I wanted. I wanted strategy. I wanted a way to connect with this person. I wanted a way to help them. I'm feeling stuck. I wanted answers. But now I've learned to trust that, because usually what happens is on that walk, I get an amazing idea. In the bath, I get an amazing idea. So trust the answer you get and start making a list of weird, unconventional way that you could step out of your comfort zone and do things differently so you can reach your unconventional success. So this is what I have to share with you. Once again, I'm inviting you to get on a call with me. Free 60 minutes, soulful success breakthrough sessions. We will look at where you're stuck. We'll look at in what way you're hiding out. We'll look at what your own unconventional approach to success might look like, and define what your blueprint to soulful success might look like. And what I can promise you, I've never had anyone walk away from these sessions feeling like they didn't get something and they didn't have more clarity and more confidence. And then if you want to work with me, if you're interested in finding out how to work with me more, then we'll talk about it. So this isn't a sales call. I am committed to getting on as many calls with as many people who want to shift out of that. If you're looking for support, if you're looking for a breakthrough, if you're looking to do something different and have a different outcome, then I'm committed to meeting with you for 50 minutes, 55 minutes, an hour, and help you brainstorm on how to do that. So the only thing you've got to do is you can put #brainstorm in the comments and I'll get back to you. Or you can message me on Messenger directly if that feels more comfortable to you. And I'm seeing a bunch of you online. I am happy to have you here with me. Thank you. And if you didn't catch the beginning, let me know where you're coming from. Let me know what you got out of this. Let me know, maybe what some unconventional approaches you've taken in your journey that have made a shift in your life or in your business, and share with each other, because this is what community is about, is sharing different, weird, unconventional ways to step out of our own box, to step out of our own way, and to accomplish completely massive, exciting shifts in our lives and in our business. All right, that's it. Have a lovely rest of your Wednesday, and I will come back live. This is my second live this week, so I'll be back live Friday or Saturday at some point to do number 3 so that I can try to stay on track with my own courage, unconventional challenge. Bye, folks. Thanks for joining.